Rino, the clumsy rhinoceros, and the buzzing bees. In the vast savannah, where trees offered generous shade and the wind blew everywhere, lived a rhinoceros named Rino. He had thick skin like armor and sharp horns on his nose. Despite his strong appearance, Rino had a kind heart and a very clumsy way about him. Rino loved to wander the savannah, munching on leaves and taking refreshing baths in the lakes he found. But there was one thing that bothered him a lot: the bees. The savannah was full of colorful flowers, and where there are flowers, there are tiny bees buzzing and collecting nectar. The bees weren't bad, but Rino was very clumsy. Sometimes, when running among the trees, he accidentally bumped into their hives or stepped on the flowers where the bees were working. And the bees, startled, didn't like that at all. Every now and then, Rino would get a painful sting on his sensitive snout, and he'd storm off huffing and shaking his head. "These little buzzers just know how to bother me," Rino grumbled to Zilda the zebra, his striped friend. Zilda, who was more observant, replied, "Rino, they don't mean any harm. They're just taking care of their home and collecting food. The flowers need them, did you know that?" Rino wasn't sure. He just knew that he and the bees didn't get along very well. One day, while Rino was running near a large tree, he heard a different buzz, louder and more desperate than usual. He saw a swarm of agitated bees flying around a fallen branch. Their hive was on the ground, broken, and honey was spilling onto the grass. Rino felt sorry for the little bees. They looked so sad and lost. He remembered what Zilda had said about their importance. Carefully, Rino approached the broken hive. He was big and strong. Maybe he could help. Slowly, using his large snout, he began to push the heavy branch that had fallen on the hive. It was a delicate job for such a big, clumsy rhinoceros. The bees buzzed around him, and Rino held his breath, fearing stings. But they didn't sting him. They seemed to understand he was trying to help. With one last effort, the rhinoceros managed to move the branch. The hive, though a little damaged, was now free. The bees began to calm down and return to their home. Suddenly, a small, bright bee flew very close to Rino. Instead of stinging him, it deposited a tiny drop of sweet honey on his nostril. It was a gesture of thanks. He licked the honey and said, "It's delicious." He realized that the bees weren't just little buzzers. They were hardworking, important, and could even be grateful. From that day on, he learned to be more careful where he walked. Rino watched the flowers and branches carefully, avoiding disturbing the bees. And whenever he encountered a little bee, he remembered that day. And so, in the savannah, Rino and the little bees learned to live in harmony, each understanding the other's importance in the great and beautiful cycle of life. Rino discovered that kindness, even from a big, clumsy fellow, can create unexpected bonds, sweet as honey. If you liked it, leave your like. And don't forget to subscribe to follow more little stories.